There's a report on ESPN.com where a lot of scouts and executives anonymously sort of quoted saying that the Rockets, quote, dodged a bullet by missing out on Butler. One league source said, quote, Butler is not exactly a calming influence. Now, I have to say, in these stories, if you give rival executives the chance to talk anonymously about another front office or player, they will. Obviously, Jimmy Butler felt he dodged a bit of a bullet too because he did not explore really going to the Rockets.
Right.
He met with the Heat, and that's where he wanted to go, and that's where the sign and trade happened. I would personally say they dodged a bullet with each other. Is that the best way to put it?
I think sometimes
It's just not a great fit.
when you hear a story like that, it makes it seem like he's bad, they're good, or they're bad and he's too good for them. Sometimes it's just not the right fit.
It's not the right fit.
And I think there's an element of truth in that they have a lot of acrimony, and Jimmy comes in and he's not a sugarcoat kind of guy.
Right.
He's not a I'm gonna make you feel good even though you're wrong here. He's gonna tell you exactly how it is. And in a sensitive situation like Houston's in, maybe that's not the right voice to be in the room at the time. On the other hand, Miami's where they always wanted to be. We talked about this before. If you think about all the things that Jimmy Butler is about, that's the Miami Heat culture.
Yep.
There's no better fit I could think of between a player and a team than Jimmy and Miami.
Well, I agree with that, but I do have a point. The Rockets are not better off with Jimmy, and I'm gonna tell you why. For the simple fact that he don't sugarcoat it. That's what the Rockets need.
Oh.
They need honesty. He want to win the title, so they need a guy like him to hold guys accountable.
Right.
Also, this is a Houston native. He's
Yeah.
going back to his hometown. You don't think he's going to play with a lot of pride if he was with the Rockets, play with his heart out to try to bring a championship to Houston? So I think, are the Rockets better off with Jimmy Butler? Absolutely not. You add Jimmy Butler to this team right now because the West is wide open, it makes the Rockets better, in my opinion.
Right.
But I understand the part what you're saying about the culture, about how it matched well with Miami, but we can't look too deep into it.
Right.
You know, like, I'd rather take a player that's going to ruffle the feathers sometimes, but that's going to still go out here and give me 25, 30 points, 8 rebounds, 4 steals.
No, the basketball
yeah,
part.
that's
he's
what
gonna
I'm
do
saying.
it. Yeah.
So, but the Rockets need some of that,
That's
though.
true.
They need some of that.
Well, wouldn't you argue, though, the Rockets have someone who's not afraid to speak his mind and ruffle feathers in Chris Paul?
No, no, I can't argue that. He's been very quiet.
Publicly.
He's been very quiet. Yeah, publicly.
Which is what you want. You don't want them to take the problems out of house.
Yeah,
but
but
in-house, we're getting reports that he's not happy with
right,
the
but
way
see,
the offense is being run.
But see, the problem is with CP, I think CP needed to do a self-check because he asked to be traded out of New Orleans. Okay, then he went to the Clippers. They had little issues there. He asked to be traded out of there. Now he's having problems with the Rockets. So sooner or later, you got to point your finger at yourself because it can't be all three of the organizations. It might be you that might be the problem.
Well, Chris is a strong personality, too, and that is part of the fit issue with the Rockets and Jimmy Butler, where I was always like, wow, that's a lot of strong personalities in one. Chris Paul and Jimmy Butler, when people are upset about the way they speak their mind, the people who are in their corner often say, right, they just want to win so badly,
Right.
and they think they see how they can do it. And I understand both of those approaches. I'm not sure you can have both of them in the same locker room.
You know what? You know what? One other point. You know who they took for granted, though? Trevor Ariza.
Yep.
They took.
Yep.
I think the Rockets took Trevor Ariza for granted. He was the only person on that team with a championship, with the championship pedigree. None of these other guys ever won a ring. None of these other guys ever touched the NBA Finals. And I think they took him for granted. They should have made it a priority to sign him back.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.